Hi, my name is Chelsea Sutter, and in this video, I'm going to help you break down your new Seint palette, whether you just bought the basics, threw in some extras, and I'm going to teach you all about placement, blending, and getting a look that you'll love the very first time. If you just ordered the basics, you should have a contour, a main highlight, a brighter highlight, and a lip and cheek. The contour is what creates your shadows. The highlights are your skin tones to help as your foundation and concealer, and your lip and cheek is to help add color to your look. If you purchase the extras with your basic palette, you should have a bronzer, a couple more lip and cheek options, and an illuminator. Hopefully you grabbed a brush. If not, after this video, consider grabbing our 3D brush if you're a beginner to highlighting and contouring, or you can always reach out to me and I'll make a personal selection for you and suggestion. Get ready to break down this look with me. I am actually wearing basics and extras. I have my contour, 2 highlights, lip and cheek, bronzer, and illuminator. If you picked up any of our prepping sprays or setting sprays, you can take 2 pumps of either of the 3. We have the Prep Plush Mist, Fixate, or Setting Spray. And you can add 2 pumps to the face to start before your makeup. Let's start with contour. It's the shade that goes the furthest back on the face. So on this side, we're going to blend as we go. Take the bunny tail end of your 3D brush. Just go ahead and gently tap into your contour. Your contour is going to be your stiffest cream. It's the darkest shade you're going to apply. So you don't want it to go everywhere and anywhere. You want it to be in control, and that's why it's so stiff. So first, grab some product on your brush. Get that right into the hairline. And as you see, I'm just gently dragging it down, and then I can always blend it out. When I get to the cheekbone, look at my cheekbone. Boom. See that shadow there? Doesn't come all the way here. It doesn't go down here. So I'm just going to put a little bit right on that shadow. How perfect is that? Then I can blend this up right into that area. Beautiful. Next up, if you would like, you can put some right in this natural shadow for your jaw. And you're going to blend that down. Perfect. You can gently pinch the brush together. Go as straight as you possibly can right into the middle of the brush hairs. See how it's got a little bit of a darker line? And you can do your nose this way if you're not comfortable using your fingers. You can even use a little bit as like a background shade. And then with my finger, you can go ahead and grab a little bit to contour the lips. Up next, whether or not you ordered the extras collection, I did want to show you where your bronzer is placement-wise in comparison to the contour. The contour will always be the furthest back to shape the face, and then the next closest color to the inside of the center is your bronzer. So if you did purchase, use that same bunny tail end. Be really careful. The bronzer is the creamiest, softest shade that we have. So a little goes a really long way, and you can always grab more. So as you see, based off of our placement, I want it to overlap the line of the contour so we have a seamless blend, but I do want it to come down a little bit further. You can also add to the nose if you want, and you can add a little bit in here as well. This is so beautiful already. Next up is going to be your main foundation shade, which is going to take up the most space on your face. So we are back to our basic side of our palette, moving on to our second shade. So this would be your second if you don't have bronzer, and you can go in with the pointed end. Now this product is softer than the contour. Not as soft as bronzer, but definitely softer. So what I want you to do is kind of like little dabs and drags on one side of your pointed end, okay? And you're just gonna fill in. Get the product everywhere off the brush first, And then guess what? You can go and really work it in. And because you're working with the pointed end, you can have as much precision as you want when overlapping any lines, chiseling out, reshaping, or aiding in the contouring of the face. How beautiful is that? Because it's pointed, you can get really close to those brows if they're already done. And you can make sure this overlaps nicely into the bronzer. And because it's cream makeup and it never sets itself, at least our brand, if you overlapped too much of the bronzer, just flip back to your bunny tail end and you can just soften that up. This is turning out so pretty. Next up, you're going to take your brighter highlight, so your second skin tone that's lighter than the other. And again, if for some reason you can't remember what your shades are, you have two options. Go back to your color match and look for main shade, brighter shade, contour, or you can pop to the back of your tin and right under the name Seint, you'll see the name of your product. All right, let's jump into brightening. Little different this time. Remember, these are the same exact product. There's just a darker and a lighter one. That's it. There's no difference as far as the contour stiffer. The Bella bronzer that I was using is softer. So you just want to use the tip of the brush, the tiniest dab, because you can always go back in for more. See how far you can stretch out that color, because you don't want too much of the brighter shade to overpower everything else that you're doing, because you apply too much and it's harder to pull back, okay? And then you end up with more product on your face than you wanted, yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna just slightly blend this. Beautiful. And then I just need a little more contour just on the side of my nose. And again, because it never sets itself, we can make corrections too. Now on to my favorite part every time I do my makeup is my blush. I feel like it's really just what brings the skin alive. Now, if you picked up the basic, remember you should have one lip and cheek, but if you grabbed the extras, you have 3 options for your lip and cheek. So you can just do it depending on your mood, or you can do ombre, or you can pop a little bit in the eye area, the forehead, whatever is your heart's desire. So now what I want you to do to get used to the consistency, we have 3 different types of lip and cheeks. We have our satin lip and cheeks, which are a matte finish, okay? They're a little bit closer to the highlight texture, where they're soft, but not as soft as our bronzer. We have a semi-gloss and a gloss finish. So it just gives you lots of options, lots of different opacity, and so you can really nail down that look. Or if you don't like the mattes on your lips, you can use a gloss, but have the mattes on your cheeks. So I want you to use your finger for this, especially if it's your first time ever. I want you to really feel the product. Now, this is a very nude shade. This happens to be Daylily. I hope it becomes a full-time product. But if you're seeing this in and around January 2025, please pick it up. It's beautiful. So I'm just doing a couple little dots, as you can see. I'm going to put my palette down. I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to do my bunny tail end because I have lots of color on this. I don't want to add more beige. And I'm just going to blend this right in. If it's a semi-gloss or a gloss, use less product because it's going to blend a little further. It's going to fizzle and smooth out a little further, and then you can always add more. The satins kind of stay a little more in place. They're a little more dense. They're not as soft as the semi-gloss and gloss, so you can get away with adding a little more product to begin with. How beautiful! Last but not least, especially if you purchase the extras, if not, you're almost done, is our Illuminator. Use your finger. This is the smoothest, softest product in our line when it comes to the cream illuminators. A little goes a very long way. You could just do this on the high points of your face, wherever you want the light to catch and give a little more glow. Some people like to add it to the satin blushes, so you still get that glow. So pretty. Now I'm going to show you, if for some reason you wanted to put your makeup in this placement to get used to highlighting and contouring, how you can actually blend it out with all these crazy lines. You have to go lightest to darkest, so start with your pointy end. We're going to go right into this under eye. We want to kind of drag this color down slightly And then we can kind of smooth it out. Bypass your lip and cheeks, so come down around it at first. Now look at that. You can just blend this in. This is so warm. It's been sitting on my skin. I don't have to fight with it to blend out. It looks so beautiful. Carve around those brows. Flip to my bunny tail end, okay? And I'm going to go darkest to lightest now. So because I don't want to put my blush color or more bronzer into my contour, right? So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to blend this into that bronzer. I'm going to do the best that I can so then I can go into the next color. Look at this. Get into that blush. So beautiful. Okay, now we're cooking. Wow, so beautiful. Blended that out to perfection. Soften anything else. And then guess what? You just pick one of your lip and cheeks. I'll use the same one that's on my cheeks. Put on your lips. Feel free if it's a satin matte finish to put a gloss on over top. And did you ever think, don't forget if you have jaw contour, did you think that we were going to take all those lines and end up with this? I swear this makeup is so beginner friendly. It's so foolproof. You cannot mess it up. As long as your placement is where it belongs and you stay within that area when you're blending, and then you just take your time to make sure each shade goes from one to the other seamlessly, you are going to love your application. Whether you just got the basics or you added some extras, and remember, we only used 2 of the extras, you are gonna love your face. If you watch this whole video and you don't own this makeup yet, and you would love to get a custom built palette, because these are my colors, please go to matchmechelsea.com and I would love to take care of you.